What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Not Today. I'm Jen Sturger.
That's Eddie Pence.
Still bringing that beta energy.
Bringing it hard. Hard beta.
Oh, I think this is our Halloween episode, right?
Happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween. Man, we have some scary stuff to talk about today. Well, it feels scary to me, but it's just stuff that, I don't know. I'm one of those people that if I come in and I'm dealing with stuff and it's not the first thing that's out of my mouth.
Yeah.
Like if it's not planned to be the first thing that's out of my mouth,
right.
I will sit there and think about it.
Oh, it just boils.
And it just goes, "Da-da-da-da-da." like I have to get this out so
like
that I can
Old
be
Faithful. It just and then it just geysers out.
Yeah, that's basically what being a woman and having ADHD is like anyway. But if I don't get it out right away, like it's going to be the only thing that's on my brain until I finally spit it out, and I'm just going to be like halfway here.
Okay.
But Eddie, there's some drama.
Ooh.
There's some drama. There's some tea, as they say, as the kids say.
Guys are all over me. Go for it.
Can we not say that? That's gross.
Erupt on me now.
Stop being a dude for once.
Okay.
But I think this is a very dude oriented conversation because I don't know what bro code rules are.
Okay.
Let's face it. Like
I'll see if I know.
I am a tomboy, as you would call it. Okay. You know, I'm a girl who has a lot of dude friends, but I also have just as many girlfriends. Mm-hmm. You know, like I feel like I'm pretty well-rounded individual. I'm not that girl that's like, I can't be friends with other girls. I can. I just need to make sure all of the people around me, guy or girl, are like working on themselves. Okay. I'm very big about protecting my energy. But I do have a lot of guy friends. Yeah. And I've been accused in the past by ex-partners that certain guy friends of mine are just in my life because they want to hook up with me. Like they're just waiting their line. They're like a dong on deck. Right. You know what I mean?
Right. Keep their options.
Exactly. There. They're in the batter's circle of dicks.
This opens up. I'm making a move.
Exactly.
Right. Yeah.
And lately it's been coming from a very odd place. So as you all know, I got divorced. I filed for divorce at the beginning of 2022. Yeah, 2022.
Something like that.
I think. Man, I don't even know.
That's 2022, I believe.
Has it been that long?
Yeah.
Really? No, I was at 2023.
Was it 20? Yeah, 2023.
Dude, I don't even know.
Beginning of 2023.
My divorce went so long.
Beginning of 2023.
I filed in January of whenever the fuck. And it didn't end until a year, 18 months later.
Okay. Is that normal?
It ended on 9/11.
Did it?
Yeah.
Oh, you had your own personal 9/11. That's nice. Now you have two 9/11s. But is that normal?
It's not unheard of in California. Our court system really got backlogged here. But like we handled it. I would say we handled it amicably. But that's not necessarily the truth because the other person just wasn't here.
Yeah.
So it was basically like one person doing all the homework for two people, you know? So I handled the divorce. And over the last year and a half, men have come out of the woodwork that were friends with my ex.
Okay.
Like close friends with my ex. That
at the wedding?
Yeah,
friends with your ex?
That either were at the wedding
invitees,
played baseball with him, or were a roommate or something like that. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to get into like the nitty gritty of it, but like close relationship type people, you know, that have asked me out.
Wow.
I wish we had dramatic music for that. Like, dun, 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 dun. Exactly. More than one. This is not a single occurrence. This has been an ongoing thing.
Right.
And I've politely declined. But it made me really wonder, like, what are the bro code ethics when it comes to going after a friend or a dude friend's ex? Like, what are the rules you guys have? You know what I mean? I know it's not necessarily something you'd have experience with, but like, there has to be like a protocol, right?
I kind of like, it's interesting.
Alex, do you have any thoughts on this?
Well, yeah, it's kind of crazy. Now that you posed the question, I don't know. I'm married, you guys. Okay, ring on
off the market.
I'm married. I love.
Sorry,
my wife.
ladies.
Sorry, ladies.
I'm missing her right now as we speak. Aww. I'm in love. Okay.
Sap.
when I was in love,
Yes.
when I thought I was in love, that person ended up cheating on me and then got with my best friend, and now they're married, and what hurts the most is that I love them to a certain degree, you
Right.
know? And
So still your best friend.
it's still a good friend now. And
But she cheated on you with
someone
him.
else, someone else completely.
With your best friend.
No,
So
no.
there was a
Oh,
buffer.
somebody else.
There was a
Completely.
buffer. There
Okay.
was
Then
another
got
individual
married.
prior to.
There was a penis between penises.
Oh yeah, absolutely,
Okay.
yeah. And you know, time heals all things.
Right.
I just don't really talk to either one as much.
Yeah.
See, I have not that like Tracy.
Mm-hmm.
She in high school, we knew each other in high school. We've known each
Yeah.
other in high school and we know each other forever. She was my best friend in high school's girlfriend.
Okay.
And
so you're the other dude.
but it didn't work out that way. Like I never
Okay.
I never had interests or plans for Tracy. Like
Yeah.
we were just friends.
And that's
It was
what
very
I'm trying
similar
to figure
like
out.
what you and I are like. It was just friends. Like
Yeah.
we just got along. Our sense of humor was sort of similar. We just had a good time. Like it was not a thing.
And I think one of these people probably was like that.
Yeah.
There's been several, like I said. I think one of these people was very much like friend, you know, like friend because you're friends because you're married to my friend.
Right.
That type of friend. The other, I think, had like feelings for me prior and just never acted on them because I was with his friend.
Okay.
That's when stuff I'm like starts to get a little like sticky.
Right.
You know what I mean? But like I said, my main thing is you guys still haven't answered my question. Like, what is the code here? Like, are you allowed to do that? And how do you, like, you and Alex are essentially coming at it from opposite sides.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Well,
do you still talk to the guy that used to date?
He was in my wedding. He was in our wedding.
Wow.
He was a groomsman. It's different because we went to high school. They dated in high school, and then they didn't date while they were in. He went in the army. She went to college. I went to college. I moved out here after college. She moved out here a year later. So this is like 7 years later.
Yeah.
She moves out here. We're friends, and then we fall in love and we get together.
Oh.
It was like that. It
Yeah.
wasn't like, oh, I can't wait till she gets out here. And then it wasn't like that. I wasn't playing the long game from high
Yeah.
school from 1992 to 1998. I wasn't
Gotcha.
playing that long game. It just sort of happened. And then when he found out, he was cool with it because again, it'd been 7 years.
Did you ask his permission?
No, not at that
Did
point.
you give him a heads up?
We
Do you have to give them a heads up? Alex,
Yeah.
when it happened to you,
Right.
did the guy give you a heads up?
That's the thing. He did.
see that's cool.
Yeah.
Did he give you a heads up before or after he made a move?
See, that's the other problem because
Or during? Did he call you during it?
So we were in a tight knit community. It was a whole bunch of stuff. I heard through the grapevine,
Oh.
you know. So I had an idea something was happening,
Right. And then
And then he told me,
yeah.
and I'm like, all right, man, we're cool.
Yeah.
And I remember we just had lunch, and that was it.
Was he with you when she cheated on you? Was he like your
Ooh.
emotional support dude?
I had my birthday when her and I broke up, and I got completely just plastered.
Right.
Like I think I broke someone's foot. I
broke someone's foot?
I lost my wallet. I threw up
So
in an
random.
In-N-Out bag at a bar that no longer is there.
Yeah.
And
You were a terror
he was
for a
there
night.
ripping her a new one when she came to pick me up because my drunk ass texted her to come get me.
What, after you were broken up?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Oh.
And
I
so
woke up
he was laying into her.
Yep. Like defending me, like you can't, like just a lot of good
So
stuff.
how long after your guys' relationship ended did theirs start?
Man, I feel like months. It's weird.
Months?
Wow.
See,
I
mine was like
swear.
8, 6, 7
Mm.
years.
I know, Jen.
Months
I
seems
know.
close.
I don't like that.
I know.
You're a better person than me.
I love people and give everyone the benefit of the doubt.
That's nice.
That's very adult of you.
See, ours was so later in life.
Yeah, that's very different.
It was, and I think I
honestly-
think time has a lot to do with it.
Yeah, time,
Yeah.
and you become a different person in 7 years.
Yeah.
You know
I
what
was
mean?
literally, we were in high school, and now I'm in California trying to be a comedian, and she moves out. Like, it's a way different situation.
Exactly.
And he was already married with a kid.
Yeah. If the other person's already moved on,
So,
I don't think that they're as entitled to as much. Alex, were you in a relationship when these two got together?
No, I was working on myself.
Yeah.
Good for you.
Good for you. Did that at all impede you when you, in terms of like your progress? Like, did that hurt you at all? Or did you realize like this wasn't your person?
It's tough because I still have a fondness for the person. We went to high school. It was my high school sweetheart. I built a relationship around more than just us. Yeah. And those were the things I had to rebuild from. I lost a family. I lost a group of friends. I lost animals. Like,
it's not someone you met in life and then broke up. It's like someone from your
life,
your youth, your life.
Yeah, I mean, we can get into Alex's story some other time, but yeah, they did a lot for me, and I did a lot for them, and I thought we were all on the right track.
Right.
And that's what really messed me up.
Nah.
So I think the key is you do have to have the conversation.
Yeah.
And it's not my responsibility to have the conversation. It's the dude's responsibility.
Yes. The dude who asked you out should have hit up the ex.
Yeah.
And gone, hey, by the way, I just want you to know I'm doing this. I'm not asking permission, but I'm just letting you know that I'm going to, because I have feelings.
I mean, at the rate it's going, dude,
right.
It's going to feel like an episode of Shark Tank.
Right.
Where there's just a bunch of dudes pitching themselves to my
but
ex.
It won't
like,
go
are
well.
you okay?
It won't
I
go
will give you 30% of this. It's not going to go well with the other individual. You know what I mean? Even though they have a life, they've had a life very quickly after. I think they already had a life before everything happened, but they moved on, you know?
Yeah.
So I don't know that they're supposed to have a say, but I honestly, I'm worried about how it affects other relationships. And I'm trying to view this from a big picture and why this is a terrible idea. You know,
I think it takes time. I think you have to have a large amount of time between the end of the relationship and before that person can ask you out. I mean, if it's like 5-6 years later, 7 years later, I don't know if they have to go, hey, I'm gonna.
Yeah. Unless
they're still tight with the other guy. If they're still tight with the ex, like they're buddies and they talk all the time, then yeah, I guess you would have to go, hey, I'm letting you know I'm going to.
That's the thing. And this is the thing that's really giving me pause about this whole situation is when I asked what their relationship was with my ex, the multiple times that because I've always posed this question. I'm like, so like, do you still talk to them? What's up? Because I'm very weirded out by these developments.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it's just caught me off guard every time it's happened. Yeah. And it's happened multiple times.
Well, every time you're trying to move forward with your life, something from your past is coming back in.
Yeah. Exactly. Like, okay. Where you're like, no.
Yeah.
I go, are you still friends with them? And they kind of hem and haw and they say, listen, I don't think he's a bad guy. They're like, but we've always seen him for what he is. And I was like, the fuck does that cryptic message mean? They're like, we've always seen him for what he is, which is this guy that's got to put on a ton of bravado and be like the fun guy. But underneath that, there is someone who is very angry and very sad. And when I've heard multiple friends of theirs basically recite this exact same account, I'm like, why did no one say anything to me?
Well, you didn't know. They didn't know you.
I know.
Like if you have a buddy and he gets engaged and like, you know, your buddy and you're not going to go up to the fiance and go, hey, by the way, not a great idea. You guys aren't going to be a good match.
I wish somebody had.
No guy would do that to his buddy.
I wish somebody had.
No. Yeah, but that's never going to happen. Unless that dude's got plans for you and he's trying to break it up.
I just imagine everybody sitting there at my wedding being like, well, here goes nothing.
Yeah, but at a wedding, you're kind of like, maybe this is going to work. Like, right? Like, that's what a wedding is, right? Especially nowadays, it's 50-50.
I don't even know.
So everybody's sitting there is like, okay, it could work.
I'll be at the next one too.
Right. It's just, you know, you have weddings. It's the same as, like we talked about.
Are you the only... I thought I was the only person that ever felt that way at a wedding. When like I go to a wedding sometimes and I'm just like,
you're like, no, like that can work because it's all about hope.
I don't know.
It's about beginnings and hope is what weddings are.
You've been watching way too much Star Wars.
It's
hope.
It's what we talked about before. It's like the beginning of football season, right before kickoff. It's like this could be it. This might work. This could be the year. If a couple balls break our way.
Yep.
This will be it.
And then by the end of the first game, you're like, son of a bitch.
Yeah, you're like, motherfuck. Okay. Where are we picking?
Yeah.
But that's weddings.
But it just sounds crazy that all of his friends just tolerated him, essentially, is what I'm kind of learning.
Yeah, but everyone knows their friends, and they know their strong points and their weak points, and like, these are your flaws and these are what makes you a good person. We all know that with our friends.
But I feel like more men are missing men in their lives that are willing to step up and be like, hey, you might be the problem. Because they want to back their friend so blindly.
Well, yeah. We're taught to back our buddies and have your buddies back no matter what.
No.
And guys don't talk about feelings and relationships and stuff like that with their friend. They don't like, hey guy, this is you're not, there's a lot of stuff bothering you underneath. I think you need to work through that before you can be married.
I feel like I've done a really great job of surrounding myself with friends that are very transparent in terms of when I'm the problem. Do you know what I mean? Like, they'll call me on my bullshit. And those are the kind of friends you want.
Yeah.
You know, you want friends that are going to be like, hey, you've been a little off your rocker lately. You know what I mean? Or like, hey, your standard might be a little high on this. Because you need those friends that are going to gut check you.
Yeah.
I don't know that.
I don't think guys talk to each other that way.
A lot of the men that I've been around or been involved with have those type of men in their life. And I feel like there needs to be something for that. You know what I mean? Like,
I don't think guys are ever taught to talk to each other that way or have that type of relationship with each other.
Yeah, because I think I've been told that like men take breakups way harder than women take breakups because women have that built-in community. Women have other women to talk to about their feelings, and guys just stuff it.
Well, guys have other guys around them to distract them from what they're feeling. To distract
them, but never work through it with them.
No.
They're usually just like, fuck her, on to the next.
Yeah, the guys aren't, for the most part, guys aren't going to sit around and like talk it out with each other and maybe have a cry or whatever, or hang out and just be with each other. They're going to be like, let's fucking go. Let's go get drunk. Let's go distract ourselves from what just happened.
Yeah.
It's just natural.
It's just avoidance.
It's just
avoidance.
It's just the way we're taught to be.
But then you guys get stuck in this echo chamber where like they don't have anybody to like hold them accountable. You know what I mean? Yeah. And that's how you end up with like the Jonah Hills of the world. Like when the Jonah Hill, you remember those Jonah Hill texts that came out?
Yes.
The text that his ex-girlfriend posted.
Yeah.
Those were batshit insane.
Yeah.
But I can tell you from a woman's perspective, I've received those texts before. I've received those type of texts where someone thought they could tell me what I could do with my body. With my life. You know? And
was it a Supreme Court justice?
No.
Sorry, I got political. My bad.
No, it wasn't. But it fascinates me because while men are starting to get more in tune about talking about mental health and at least listening to things about mental health and possibly exploring feelings, I think a lot of them are struggling with how those feelings manifest.
Right.
And what you're allowed to do and not do to another person. Like one of the things that always comes up for me is boundaries.
Right.
You know? And that was what the whole Jonah Hill thing was about, was boundaries.
Right.
You know, like, this is my boundary. He was telling his ex-girlfriend what she could and could not do with her body.
Was his boundary?
Was his boundary. She was a model. He met her as a model.
Right.
That was what she did for her career.
Lucky for him.
Yeah, for real.
Fucking, I mean,
tell me.
Hold a mirror up.
I don't think that man has no mirrors in his house. But this isn't about looks. This isn't about being mean. This is about a person who's unhealed, thinking that they can control other people around them.
Yeah.
You know?
Now, can I ask you a question about boundary?
For sure.
In that sort of boundary situation where it's like, my boundaries are, you can't go do this with yourself. Like, you can't, I don't want you to.
That's not a boundary. That's control.
Yeah, I get that. But
yes.
Can you phrase that as, it's not a boundary, but going like, when you do this, it hurts me. This bothers me when you do this.
That's still not a boundary. A boundary is when you say what type of behavior is not acceptable to you, but you do not try to control the other person.
Right. But is that an acceptable conversation to have with that other person when you're doing this?
1,000%.
This is bothering me.
If it's the thing that's keeping you from having a healthy relationship with the other individual, it is. So for instance, like, if I wanted to, I've been in relationships with people who have substance abuse issues.
Yeah.
More than I'd like to admit.
Yeah.
And one of the boundaries that I set was if you are going to get drunk, please do not call me.
Okay.
Do not call me if you are intoxicated.
Yeah.
And you can call me. I'm not going to pick up the phone, and you're going to have to be okay with that, because this is something that I'm doing to keep myself safe. That is a boundary.
Yeah.
Do not call me when you're drunk.
Right.
I can't control whether or not he does it, but
You're not telling him not to get drunk.
Nope.
You're just saying when you do get drunk, don't call me.
Nope.
Right.
Exactly. I would be like, hey, if you wanted to say to someone like in a relationship that did have substance abuse issues that you didn't want them to drink, or you're out, you could say, hey, I don't want to be in a relationship with someone who constantly needs to be on another substance in order to interact with me.
Right.
I'm not telling you what to do. I'm just telling you what my needs are. And if you can't meet those, then this is probably not the best partnership for us anymore.
That makes sense.
And that's not a threat.
No.
That's just me saying,
this isn't going to work.
This isn't going to work.
Yeah, this is going to work for me.
This isn't going to work.
Yeah.
You can say it with love, but you can say, I'm not going to allow this for myself.
Right. And that's that's about
And if he didn't want his girlfriend taking pictures, he could have just told her, like, hey, when you take pictures, it makes me feel some kind of way.
Right.
And I know you don't mean it that way, but this is how I'm feeling.
And so if you want to continue to do that, I don't look if I can be with you.
Exactly. But that's a conversation. That's how you have that conversation.
Right. Not saying don't do that. That my boundaries are you can't do this.
Yes. But your requests also have to be valid. They have to be founded in some kind of truth.
Yeah.
One time I had somebody tell me that I didn't text back I love you once.
Right.
Once. And that I got on Instagram before returning their text messages. And so they were basically like, if you can't give me what I want, you leave me no choice but to leave you.
Right.
That's a threat.
Yeah.
That's a threat.
Right.
It's all in how you voice it.
But you could go, hey, it bothered me that you didn't respond to me before.
100%.
Right.
It really hurt me that you didn't respond to me before you got on Instagram.
Right.
That's all they have to say. You know? It's all you have to say. But how you phrase things does matter.
But that's coming from past, either not trauma or how you've learned to deal with things over time, where it's just like, I don't know if those are walls that person's put up to protect themselves over time, going this,
or they've just numbed themselves so much that that is their wall, that is their problem. You can't talk to somebody through a wall like that.
Yeah.
Like there were times that I had interactions with people in my past where I was like, I'm not dealing with them right now.
Yeah.
I'm dealing with a triggered drunk version of them right now, possibly on some other kind of substance.
And that's not going to end well.
And it's not.
No.
And I've always tried to be diplomatic in how I.
But it's hard to get out of that situation without escalating it.
100%.
Because that person's not in a rational state of mind.
You can't do it right then and there.
No.
As much as you want to, you can't do it right then and there. All you can do for yourself is withdraw.
Is leave.
It's leave.
Pretty much.
Yeah. All you can do is just leave for now and try to revisit that conversation when the person is in their right mind.
Right.
The problem is sometimes they will not remember.
Right. Or they'll be like, oh, you walked out.
Yes. Because people who have these kind of substance abuse issues and stuff like that, people who have these like low self-esteem issues like this, it comes from like a deep abandonment wound.
Yeah.
You know? So yeah, I'm glad men are taking accountability for their mental health. I'm glad that they're learning the jargon and I'm glad that they're exploring it. Mm-hmm. But you should also know how to use it.
Yeah. You can't just say, this is my boundary, and that gives you a license to make whatever weird rule you want.
A boundary is not to control another person.
Right.
A boundary is to make yourself safe.
Yeah, it's to protect you.
That is what a true boundary is.
Right. You can't lock someone else inside your boundary. The boundary is just for you.
Exactly. Yeah. A boundary is not to control another person.
Right. Your boundary can't be I'm wrapping my boundary around you so you can't take pictures. You can't do this or
exactly.
that. No. You can do those things. Just know that you're not going to be able to come inside my boundary.
Are we still talking
Did I
about
say that
boundaries?
right? Did I say that
sounded
right?
that sounded kind of dirty.
That sounded awesome.
You're not going to be able to come inside my boundary. I've said that to men too. But nice. But yeah, I do want more men to keep working on their mental health. I do want men to learn that they're allowed to have feelings.
Mm-hmm.
But I also think they also need to be accountable for those feelings and not just because they're feeling them now, throw them out into the world.
I mean, look, I'm a Gen
That's how you have dudes with tons of road rage and shit.
I have
or
tons of road rage. I'm a Gen X kid, and that's just the way we were. I think it's just how a lot of my generation, I think even millennials are like that too. Men with not expressing their feelings properly. Mm-hmm. I've noticed with my son, who's a Gen Alpha or Gen Z now, I guess what they're called, Gen Alpha or Gen Z.
I think they're Gen Alpha.
And
he's after Gen Z.
I think whatever it is. He's very open with his emotions. And I've noticed a lot of his friends, they're very expressive with how they feel. And I think maybe this younger generation is a little more in tune, especially on the male side, with expressing how they feel and what their emotions are, as opposed to just like, I'm just going to bottle that up.
I'm going to bottle this up and then throw it at somebody at Costco.
I'm just going to hold on to that and make that pancreatic cancer later in life.
Yeah.
Right. I don't know. I think it's getting better. I think
they do give me a lot of hope.
It's my generation and the one after mine. I think we just weren't taught.
I taught a class at UF the other morning via Zoom, and the kids are always allowed to ask me questions and things like that, about working in sports media, what I do now, etc. And some of the questions they asked, they had absolutely nothing to do with career, and it had more to do with the psychology behind navigating elements in your career.
Yeah.
And about how to set boundaries in the workplace and how to advocate for your needs. And I was like, these questions are so thoughtful and they are so emotionally intelligent.
Yeah.
It gives me so much hope for what's to come.
Yeah.
Like truly, I some of them wrote me after the class and they were like, your answers were so thoughtful and so inspiring.
But that's coming from men too, not just women.
100%. Right? No, some of these were coming from men.
I think the younger generation is a little more in tune. We are evolving, I think.
That's not to say they aren't like still out there hurting each other and doing dumb shit and dating, but that's like what your 20s are about.
Yes.
And we weren't canceling people for it back then. Maybe we should have been, but who knows? But I really do have hope for Colton's generation.
I think
and the one slightly before him. I just feel like there's something happening with them that's going to change things. They're a little
more in tune and a little more intelligent than I think us older generation give them credit for.
Because I think you get to a certain point as a man where you feel like your feelings don't matter. And that's when you just become angry at the world.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And you feel like you're being marginalized and you feel like you're being replaced.
Well, you also
and then that's how you get the Andrew Tate, the people who follow Andrew Tate and people like that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, those people are just losers. So that's just you're just a loser.
But it's point. I don't like to use words like toxic masculinity because I feel like it tells men that it's wrong to be a man. Right. And I don't think that it's wrong to be a man. I think that we need to redefine what being a man is.
Well, I think before you're a man or a woman, you should learn how to be a human.
Yeah.
A functioning human being that is emotionally healthy, and that also makes you physically healthy.
Why aren't we teaching this in schools?
I don't know.
Like, how many things has Colton brought you home where you're just like, why the fuck is he learning this?
Oh, fucking every day.
What was the last thing he brought you home?
He's learning about the Mongols in world history, about how he thought it was phase like that. This is funny. The Mongols like invaded all these different areas in Mongol China, I guess.
He thought it was funny?
He thought it was funny. Well, no, because what they would do is they would just invade it and then be like, okay, we're done. And then they would leave. Like the Roman Empire kept trying to expand.
And build.
And hold.
And this is part of us.
And expand and hold and like make it bigger and bigger. And the Mongols were just like, okay, all right, that was fun. We're out. Like they'd invade, conquer, and then just leave.
What the fuck?
Then he thought that was hilarious. But like,
it's not hilarious. That's what men are doing in my life, Eddie.
But not hilarious in the way like, oh, they raped and pillaged and stole. It was just sort of like they had no desire to claim the land, hold it, and build an empire. They were just like, we're going to raid it, take it, bye.
Man, I feel like this is a metaphor for my life.
It might be. But it's just
we're going to come here. We're going to date this lady. We're going to take as much as we possibly can from her.
Out.
And then peace.
Peace out. Which is what the Mongols did, I guess.
Start a huge fight and leave.
Yeah. Peace. Later.
That is insane.
But he thought that was, I mean, but again, I don't know if that's going to be valuable later in life for him, but it was just, that's what he brought.
Don't date like a Mongol.
Don't date like a Mongol. Date like a Roman. Put your flag down. Claim that as your property.
Just don't get any.
I don't think either way is good, but.
Just don't deal with any swords. Not swords, horses. Horses, yeah.
Maybe just don't invade. Maybe just don't try to conquer other people.
Yeah.
Whether you're going to stay or not.
Maybe be like, hey.
Coexist. Be neighbors. Friendly neighbors. Visit every once in a while.
Yeah.
Exchange program.
I love that. That's such a funny way to think about it.
Yeah.
Well, I know this has been like a, I thought it was supposed to be a tea episode, but man, we got into some deep stuff.
Yeah.
And we hope that we I don't know. We hope we educated you. You guys at some point.
It felt good to talk.
Listen, we can talk about fart stuff next week if it makes you all feel better. But I do like that we cover stuff that's not always hilarious. Yeah. There's hilarious things.
Yeah.
I'm going to think of that.
Like I said, come in your boundary. That's hilarious.
I'm going to think of this Mongol thing.
The Mongol thing's amazing.
The rest of it is one of those, when you said it, it was one of those things where my brain sees patterns and I'm like, oh, that's what's happening in my dating life.
Yeah. I'm being invaded by Mongols.
Where I was like, oh, I'm really good at seeing that. That's the comedy brain.
Yeah.
That's how the comedy brain works. It's like, patterns.
Just one Roman Empire. Just once. If I could just meet one Roman Empire.
Yeah. Preferably Brad Pitt. Oh, Eddie, is it time?
It's time.
That flew past.
And then push the button early.
No, it's perfect.
We're playing Florida Man Friday. I read Jen Sturger 3 Florida Man headlines, 2 real, 1 fake. She just tell me what is the fake Florida Man headline. Alex is playing along to try to even it up.
I'm ready.
Ooh, and Mark's also in the studio.
Mark's
teamed up,
Mark
Mark.
and Alex.
This is bullshit.
This is huge.
Mark, say something to the people.
This is bullshit.
I'm here to win again.
We're 11.
This feels like.
Tell Mark it's 11-10. Yeah. If you guys win, it's 500.
Alex, am I back in focus?
You are focused.
Sorry. This is bullshit. This feels like when you come down a ramp and then they're like, just kidding, it's a handicap match.
It's kidding. You're getting double teamed.
Phrasing.
Nice.
Phrasing.
Fucking
It's a 3-way, guys.
All right, let's go.
Here we go.
Nice.
Florida man
I hate working
tried to run over son because he didn't want to take a bath. Florida man arrested with cocaine-stuffed Lunchables. Florida man drives golf cart through mall, tells police he was exploring urban jungle.
All right.
One of those is a fake Florida man headline.
The studio needs to confer. We're going to mute the mic.
Soundproof.
Fuck. This is not
They're
fair.
in the soundproof booth.
I don't feel like this should be worth as many points. I feel like this should not count against my belt.
Well, it's a double team. It's important.
This should not count against my belt. We need a belt for this,
They're
by the
taking
way.
an awful long time. We do need a belt.
Can you make a belt?
I'll have to make a belt.
We need a new belt.
Florida Man Championship. They're taking an awful long time to really work this out.
Mm-hmm.
They take notes. They take pen and ink.
Okay, the studio's ready.
The studio's ready?
Go ahead, studio.
Mark and Alex are ready?
We're going number 2.
Florida man arrested with cocaine-stuffed Lunchables.
Yeah. Jen?
I think
no pressure.
Urban jungle.
Florida man drives golf cart through mall, tells police he was exploring urban jungle. You're a winner. Jen Sturger.
Damn it.
I knew the cocaine Lunchables was real.
12-10.
I knew cocaine Lunchables was real. I don't know why.
Do you guys see why I don't get Mark involved? Do you guys see why I don't get Mark involved?
Off a 2-on-1.
My rationale
You
was
guys
Florida
tried to
people
stop
and golf
me.
carts are like synonymous.
You guys tried to stop me. Teaming up.
It was the urban jungle. I was like, that's his misdirect. But
I'm working on a lot of layers
here.
I'm playing 9D dimensional Monopoly.
I wish I had my ramp walk back music. Like da 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 da.
However, can we order these Lunchables?
Da, 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 da.
Cocaine stuffed Lunchables. Get you to
like you guys tried to stop me. You can't stop a real Florida woman.
No. Wow.
Anyways,
fought off the 2-on-1 situation.
Man, I hope the people at home enjoyed that as much as I did.
It's crazy.
Oh, thank you so much for watching another episode of Not Today, guys. Please keep leaving us 5-star reviews.
5-star rating, positive text review.
Eddie, where can people find you?
At Eddie Pence on all the socials, eddiepence.com.
Yep, jensturger.com and at Jennifer Sturger on all the socials. Again, we can't thank you enough, guys, for being a part of our show and being a part of this little family thing that we're building here.
Do like the Mongols. Peace.
I hate you.
Well, it's on ours.